Well, now it's time for making the DSR wheelie. So I decided to try and change the gearing ratio by switching to a chain. This is the chain kit from FX, and as you can see, it's the same system they use. Newer models have splines in here. This also helps with the belt snapping and jumping on this pulley. And I'm changing from a 4.6 to 1 ratio on this to a 5.4 on this, and it hurts my top speed like a lot. Right now the top speed is 170 kilometers an hour, and with this I'm going down to 141 kilometers an hour. So I think the gear ratio is too low, but as long as it does wheelies, I'm fairly happy. This kit contains of a small sprocket and a big sprocket, a chain, a guard for the rear swing arm so it doesn't make noise when the chain hits this, even though in theory it shouldn't, but yeah. A big washer to sit here, and a chain guide, but this is for the FX. I don't think I can fit it to the DSR, and a mud guard, which is also for the FX. The kit includes bolts and a spacer ring, so everything should be included, and of course a chain. The chain link included is with a snap ring. Normally I always use riveted links, but yeah, it would make sense in this application, because later on I'm going to change this to a smaller diameter, or play around with it if it's not perfect, because this is very easy to machine. You can buy a blank with only the teeth and then machine the hole out, and machine. That's easier than finding this and get that in different shapes. So the plan is try this on, see how it works, and then later on play around with it. So that's the plan.
When you're installing or disassembling the swing arm from the early models, Zeros, like this is from 2013, there's a grub screw down there that secures the nut on the bolt, so you have to loosen that before
you can take out this one. So I've actually started this. As you can see, I've taken this rear swing arm off, so I could get the pulley off, and it was fairly easy. I just had to take a puller, I guess it's called, and put a small extension through the hole and push on the axle, and then just pull it out. It wasn't a big deal. It would be best to get the bolt out with the wheel on, but that's actually not possible. So I had some issues, and I had to use impact gun, I guess it's called, to loosen the bolt. Now the chain kit is installed. Yeah, it was easy, pretty easy. It was almost like a normal chain, except I'm used to O-ring chains. This is without an O-ring, and it means it makes a lot of noise. In the future, I will change this for a real motorcycle chain and not for a dirt bike chain, because this needs more maintenance and it makes more noise. I know it's less efficient, but yeah, but you can. I know it needs to be running and things like that, but you can listen to this normally quiet bike. That's not quiet, but let's see when I try to ride it. Now I've tried a different gear ratio. This is the 60 tooth compared to the 65 I got with the kit from Zero. With the 60 tooth, it will still do wheelies, not as easy as with the 65 tooth, and it helped a little with the overall power, feeling of power, I should say, is to try I think it was a 58 tooth, to see if that's better. If I go to 65, it'll be the same gear ratio as the normal, the stock gear ratio. So I'm hoping that 58 will be the perfect one. So this is probably the last update for this year. As I mentioned in the earlier videos, I had a goal. It was to make it wheelie, and to do that I've changed the settings on the controller. That didn't help. It helped, but not enough. And now I've tried with the chain and sprocket, and I used the chain kit from an FX, and it had a 65 two sprocket in the rear, but it was too low. It did wheelies, but it was it ran out of steam so fast, so it was slower and wasn't optimal at all. right now, I won't ruin it, but it does do a little wheelie once in a while, but it's still slow. So I have to try and change this sprocket from a 60 tooth to about I think I'm going to a 58 next, and finally guess it's a 50 tooth. The 50 tooth is the same gear ratio as when you use the belt, so I don't think that's a good idea, but if I can do it this year, I'll put on the 58 tooth and see how it runs. But yeah, as you can see right now, I have street tires instead of the normal off-road tires, and yeah, the bike just rides beautiful, but I'm going back to the off-road tires because yeah, it's not worth it having these tires on it. But otherwise, I'm very satisfied. But at this point, I can't recommend going to chain from instead of a belt. But I have to ride the bike more to find out if what I'm going to stick with.